Good evening, people. It's Matthew, and the time is now 21:18, and it's now the 9th of the 4th, 2017. And again, here in the Northern Hemisphere today was very, very hot. And on the horizon we saw a very orange object that was behind all that haze, those chems that have been sprayed all through the day on the horizons. They seem to be spraying the horizons now all the time. And we are heading into end times as the weather is getting much more erratic. Again, in the Solomon Islands, more earthquakes, more activity with the sun as well, with those coronal holes and them supermass injections that are heading on towards our natural Earth. We're being pounded every single day. I'm going to try some cams now, see what we can find. So top respect to all of you, and please prepare for the biggest event of our lives. Now these are the FFA webcams in Australia, and also we're getting the ones here in Alaska as well. So we've got the looking at different cams across the world. Now here on this Alaska cam, you can see these red chems, and again you can see this dark sky. Again, it's just evident all the time, and we really need to get this word out, isn't it? It's so important because these dark skies are happening every single day now, as this huge object is heading closer. Now I believe that Nibiru as well doesn't emit any light off it. It's got a slight atmosphere, but you can just see that there's a huge dark shadow coming our way, and this object is heading very close. Here also on this Alaska FFA and also the FAA GovCam. Now you're seeing two light sources, two objects, two colours in the sky there, and they are chemtrailing, and they're doing this all over the world. Now again, here in the UK, it was too hot. It really was too hot. It was reaching up to 26. It was getting very, very hot. As the weather channels would just say, it's 23, but it's not. It's more all the time. And we're only in April, as I said before, and it's just very strange weather, isn't it? Now, when that sun was going down, it was very red. We had blood red horizons as the sun was going down. It was just pure red. Now there's an object that we all know as being Nibiru is on our horizon now. It's so there now, isn't it? And the weather changed instantly into like a stormy, windy weather. Very eerie, surreal. It was just strange seeing and noticing that the weather pattern had changed abruptly. So what we've got here as well, we've got this orange haze that's always on the horizon now. This is the reflection from that sun and that huge solar object that's in front of the sun. And again, this silvery haze on the screen all the time, and this black clouding. They're hiding these objects all the time. We flick through this cam, you can see that this plasma is coming up from the horizon as well, and this redness in the clouding as well. These are chemtrails that are just moving through the sky all the time. Again, you've got these other light objects as well. I mean, these reflections. And again as well, as I've said this before, that we've never had skies like this at all, have we? Now think back in 1985, 1986. Our skies were just natural blue, weren't they? And normal cloudings. We were happy with that. But now, as I said before, they are just covering these objects all the time, aren't they? To disguise the skies all the time, to hide the objects all the time. You've got this like fleck of green and purpley. I mean, look at this. I mean, all the colours here, and they are covering everything. It's all evident now, isn't it? And these chems are being blasted all the time. Now, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment. I've had it now for about 2 weeks. I've been feeling a bit low, sore throat, and just feeling very heavy in the mornings. And I believe this is an effect in everybody. There's other people, some friends of mine that's here locally in where I live, and they've got not feeling too well as well. And with these temperatures that rise and then go back to normal or just below normal. They're just rising and dropping, and it's affecting people all the time. Because our temperatures, they need to be normalised. And if we're getting erratic weather patterns where it's very hot and then it jumps down to very low temperatures, of course we're going to get affected by this, having flu-like symptoms. And again, on this screen, I mean, you can see those chems, and that's really bad. I mean, look at this. This picture says 1,000 words. They're chemming our sun all the time. They're using this object up there. And you've got that second reflection on the horizon all the time. And I just stress to every single person and hope that we're all looking up to the stars and skies. Things are completely changing. The moon tonight as well has been chemtrailed. They have blocked the moon this evening. I mean, it's now 21:33 and our celestial body, the moon, is just crisscrossed in the sky by chemtrails. Every time by these military pilots that are suffering as well. They are suffering, these pilots. They're being forced by the government and the powers to be to blast our skies, these hammerheads. They are hammerheads. They truly are. And they're suffering as well because these are toxic fumes and toxic chemicals that they have behind them as they're spraying the skies. And these things can't be watertight all the time. They will be leaking. And it's been reported as well that pilots have died of cancer, and it won't come out to the media. The media will not disclose any pilot that's been affected by this. I mean, you can see these chems that they've blasted in the skies all the time. I mean, look at it. This is the plasma that's behind it, and these are all the chemicals that are being sprayed in the skies as well. I hope this comes up big screen as well, because I've noticed on other videos as well that when I do them, they come out as smaller screens. But anyway, so we just want to get the truth out there, don't we? Because I've noticed on channels this afternoon, I was watching some channels, and people have said that a lot of people look at situations where they think that these objects are lens flares, and maybe some of them will be lens flares, but I am telling you now that the true system, Nibiru, is a real celestial object that's out there. A lot of people say that they call it now, NASA's calling it Sirius, this Cyrus, this heavenly object that they've noticed now in the inner solar system. Now, I'm tracking this. I did a video, as I said, last night, but sadly the sound went on it. So I did also a video after that as well, early hours of the morning, but the sound quality was going down. So I'm hoping now that the sound quality is alright on this video, so I can produce the work. Because I just feel it's no good when I feel that you need to listen to the me talking through the evidence of what we're seeing in the skies all the time. It's so important. But as again, you can see on these images, can't you? There's an object that's illuminating here on the left-hand side, and this is the plasma from the sun, and also this object in front of it. And I took a look up the skies this morning, and basically I noticed the sun was a very grey colour, like a hazy grey colour in the blue skies. And it just seemed to be very stressful. It seemed to be as if it was magnified, and it was stretching. I don't know, it was very bizarre to see that. And looking at the way it goes down on the horizon as well, very, very red. It's getting much redder than it was before, a lot more redder. We were seeing pink skies last week and orangey skies, but now we're seeing like a blood red sky on the horizon. So these red colours are getting deeper and darker each and every time, and it is very worrying to see this. But there is an object here. There's something that's behind those chems. I mean, the thing is, we've got to think out the box, haven't we? please don't be disinformed by other people saying, oh no, this is not a real event, it's not happening, because let me tell you now, I have seen this celestial object, and this is why I'm carrying on, and I'm doing this for you. It's important to get the true words out there. We are living on this huge celestial body, the Earth, and the Earth is travelling around the Sun in our solar system, and in the past, other planets, heavenly bodies, have been knocked out the way by a huge mini solar system. Now, I call it a mini solar system. It's not, is it? It's another huge solar system. But in scientific terms, they say this. I mean, Neptune, Uranus, they got knocked about, of course. Saturn's moons got knocked about as well by this huge celestial event in the past. The moon, our moon, was hammered by asteroids. I mean, it's got craters all over it by a celestial event. Even our Earth, there's evidence of huge craters from asteroids from a past situation. You can see this, can't you, here? They're hiding this. They're hiding this reflection. There's something there in the skies. And I just, again, just respect everybody for carrying on their work by achieving to get the right footage out there. Can you see this as well? It's very important. On the ground here, you can see this pink haze, the reflection, and we're seeing this light greeny blue sky. Not like our natural sky, but this other greeny blue sky. Now, this is a huge reflection from a heavenly body. Okay? Now, I am guaranteed, hand on heart, that when we see this huge objects, when we see them, we will know our job's done. We will know that this time of spending all this time at doing these research videos is all worth it at the end. We will all notice and see these and say to ourselves, there you go. There it is. There is Nibiru, and there is Helion, Nemesis. I mean, you will see them. You will see them there. And I believe it's not to be worried. Don't be scared. Don't be in fear. This is a natural event. And we're all going to go home. We're all going home. Because the evil ones, the powers to be, they are going to hide away down underground. And they won't be saved for this coming event. They really won't be. It's just a situation where we just got to keep going until the very end. You can see these milky, creamy chems all the time, can't you? Just all the time in the skies now. Every single day we're seeing this, aren't we? Okay, on this cam as well, notice this reflection. Now, we're seeing this all the time from the right hand side of the sun. This also simulator. Now, we're not seeing the black spot, are we, on this image here? It's not here, is it? Because it's being covered up by that other object in the of the Earth's atmosphere. And also just this shadow as well. Now, this is very interesting that we see this as well, this reflection. And we see this on the clouds, don't we? This red and orange and yellow sort of like reflections on the chemtrails as well, don't we? All the time we see this. I'm just going to zoom into this. Now, it's quite interesting, that is, isn't it? Okay, now again, I'm not sure what they're doing 100%, but they are using, I believe they're using cloaking technology. That is a fact. It's all been documented as well, and we can read about this with this solar simulator. Now, I believe, again, I showed you a piece of footage a couple of weeks ago of an object just disappears behind the blue sky like a line, as if it's going behind a mirror, sort of cloaking technology. And this colour in the sky here is round. It's like a round object, isn't it? That's been you can see this, can't you? I mean, why would it do this? I mean, there's no other reflections coming up because it's a haze, isn't it? I mean, it's not got the black dots. It's not going to reflect. And we're not getting these like hexagon dots in the sky from a reflection, but we're getting this strange colouring to the right hand side. And when we do get a moon eclipse as well from the sun, we get this red, purpley green effect as well with the yellow. It's like a rainbow effect. So again, my belief here is that we've got the object they're trying to cloak, and they are getting away with it, aren't they? But you can still see these reflections that are coming from whatever device they're using. Also, this was very interesting as well, as you can see how this sun of ours is just in a huge haze of blue, and it's being covered up, isn't it? And you can see the hydrogen being burnt away from them clouds in front of him below it. Now, again, what is this to the right hand side? Can you see this? Let's zoom into this object. Now, it could be anything, couldn't it? But saying that, looking at it that red and that far out to the right hand side, and you can see reflections, can't you, on the ground, this red reflection on the snow. Can you see this reflection here? It's like a tinge of redness. I mean, this could be a celestial object, because as the cam moves, it just moves at a funny angle. It doesn't move with the sun, it moves the opposite way. Now, again, you can see the reflections on the left hand side, the light on the left hand side, and it's darker on the right hand side here, can't you? We just have to just keep continually watching the cams and looking to the skies. And looking at that sunset today, this afternoon, here in the UK, was very, very surreal. It was very red. I mean, I still go on about it, but it was truly red. It was absolutely spectacular, but very dangerous, isn't it, to know what's going on. So, yeah, not sure what it is, but it just looked very strange up there in the skies. Here it is again. It's moved to the left slightly. Can you see this? It was actually here, just above these mountains, hills. Now it's moved to the left. It's still shining to the left-hand side here, isn't it? Just looks very spectacular, doesn't it? I mean, there's no evidence of lens flare on this piece of footage as well. It's just sat there and it's a very red colour. Let's zoom in a little bit and see what we can see here. Now, that's very round, isn't it? And it doesn't look like a flat object. It's got curves. I mean, it just looks like something up there in the skies that's causing all these huge pink clouds that we see in the night time and through the daytime, and this red reflection on the opposite side and also to the right hand side of the sun. Is this the binary twin, or is it Nibiru? It's just a situation, isn't it, that we just got to keep tracking it. But what I noticed, if I just zoom out a little bit, what I noticed is the red reflections on the mountains just below it. Can you see this? Okay, it's very important. If you look at down below on the right hand side here, you can see it's very red. Can you see this? It's just a tinge of redness here, isn't it? Is this a reflection from the heavenly body? I mean, have we caught it now? Is it here? It was only on a few clicks and then it disappears. Now, it goes into the sky. It's like a haze, and it just hazes off. So, and then they start chemtrailing. They do this all the time, you see, to deceive us all the time. Government powers to be, military, are being used all the time to cover up these objects. Here again is another image of this object that's been spotted in the skies. I mean, you can see this. It's very clear. Hold on, I'm just going to move something on a bit. Hold on a second. You can see this now, can't you? I just moved the screen to the from the right-hand side because you're getting a little colour gap there. But I mean, look at the chemtrails. I mean, the hydrogen disappearing, and this red object again, and the redness on the mountains and the snow. just very important to get these images out. I mean, I'm truly believing that this is something that we're catching here as well. So, yeah, very interesting. See, I've noticed here as well, I've stretched the screen out a little bit so you can see this on the horizon here. Look. I mean, there is definitely something here, isn't there, that's coming up. I mean, the sun is way over on the right-hand side. It's gone, and you can see this, can't you? I mean, there is something there, isn't there? This is not a spot on the screen or a spider, is it? Or the moon? Yeah, I mean, the moon wouldn't be this big, would it? I mean, again, it's just today really worried me because I just for April it was again it was like freak weather, wasn't it? It was far too hot. Here as well on this Alaska cam. I mean, this is getting very strange, isn't it? I mean, you've got this rainbow effect as well. This with the sun. I mean, are these CME blasts, or is it a flare? I mean, whatever it is, it's not showing that black spot in the screen, is it? Because we've got this object that's in front of it. I keep saying this, but this is 100% true. This solar simulator is up above our atmosphere, and it's travelling as the sun's travelling through the sky, as the Earth is rotating. But we're getting this as well, this strange colour in the skies. If I show you this as well, you can see where this is getting bigger now, can't you? Here it is again, this strange refraction in the sky. Can you see this? Now, as the land is very much darker now, because we've got this object up there in front of our sun, we would normally see a yellow sun, wouldn't we? But we're seeing this blue, hazy grey reflection in front of it. But what would be causing this, as we don't see the black dot on this screen? I've seen this as well when I've took footage of other objects. They get this flare. And also many other channels, Venus, they were videoing Venus up there in the in its solar system, and they were having these sort of like halos as well. Very strange. Here it is again. You can see this, can't you? It's very evident, isn't it? Where it's just, hold on, I'm going to move the screen here so we can see this. There. And then it disappears. Can you see this here, this effect? And we see these rainbows, don't we? We've seen these through the chem clouds and the cloudings, this red, yellow, green and blue all the time. And look at the simulator, look at the shape of it now, look at the sun, the way this object is not a round object at all. It's all these hexagons that are up there. Just crazy times ahead, isn't it? It's very important, again, just to get the messages out to you, you know, it's really important. Just to show you this piece of footage as well, on this Alaska cam as well. Okay, you've got the timestamp up there on the left-hand side. The time there is 13:01, 13 seconds. Now again, I keep saying it, we've got a dark black object that's up there in our solar system. It's very close to our Earth now. I mean, look how dark it is for the time of the day. I mean, normally snowy sort of weather and snow, it would be very white and clear now as the sun's up in there in the skies. And these chems as well, just very bleak, aren't they? And it's just very much dark. And if you look carefully, you can see this reddish reflection that's going through all of it. Same reflections that we see on the horizons all the time. So this dark object, this dark star, the Death Star, Nemesis, is here, and it's darkening our skies. It really is now. And looking on the weather channels as well here in the UK, there's lots of things going off. Many people have passed away on disasters that happen around the world in the last few days. There's been murders from other areas of the world that are having wars right now. There's lots of things going on. Lots. So when we just walk around doing our day-to-day activity, there's a whole different story right around the corner, isn't there? This is called the Kipnuk East Cam as well in Alaska. And again, we're getting all these thick cloudings in the sky, and you can see that red haze, can't you? But as we go and progress through the cam, you can see the sun and this object in front of the sun burning through those chems, those cloudings. Can you see this? Here again. Now, it's interesting to say actually, because on one of these images, we see the sun, the same shape as what I saw about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Let's have a look, see if I can find this. Here it is. It was this shape in the sky. Now, there wasn't much chems when I saw it, but I saw this like mirror. It was like a mirror in the sky, and it was this oval shape, and there was no chems. It wasn't burning through anything or cloudings, but it was this shape, and it just looked so strange. It didn't look the same as our sun. I mean, come on, there's something going on with it, isn't it? I get frustrated because I just want to know what's going on. We all want to know what's going on, don't we? And we're seeing this this heavenly body. I mean, this blue reflection and just burning through them clouds all the time, as the sun is burning very much twice as much now, isn't it? I mean, look at the plasma on this as well. It's just absolutely amazing what's going on now, isn't it? I mean, it's burning twice as much now, isn't it? Now, also this video cam, Nelson Lagoon Cam East in Alaska, it's normally very clear. Now again, I hope you can see this, because sometimes the information just morphs out as well when I produce a video. That's a shame, isn't it? Because it's stopping us from seeing where and where. Anyway, so timestamp here is 13:09 in the afternoon, 9th of April 2017. We get a huge reflection, a red reflection, a haze that's down on the land. You can see this. And this dark shadow here is too dark for 1 o'clock. Everybody would know this. Every single one of us would know this. It's too dark for that time of the day. So we are being eclipsed. This is another part of Alaska pointing east. But I mean, again, on the east side, we always get this dark shadow on all the other cams as well. I mean, it's so evident. I mean, look at this. This object, the brown dwarf star, must be very close to us. It really must be. I mean, yes, it could be quite a few billion miles away, but it's getting to a point now, isn't it, that we're seeing a lot of things now in the skies, and a lot of things going off now around the world as well. And I believe it's all about people that are starting to panic. It's second nature in us, isn't it? That if something's going to happen, we build up an instinct of it, don't we? All the time. Here's the same Nelson Lagoon Cam pointing west. I mean, you can look on the ground here as well. The timestamp is 13:13, 19 seconds. I mean, look at it. I mean, the ground is dark, and we're getting this strange clouding, and up here it's very dark, isn't it? Skies are very dark all the time now. Here on this cam as well, you can see where this trail is morphed into this, where the simulator is. Again, it's too dark, and we're getting this, these chems brightening up and being burnt away all the time. You can see this simulator all the time. I mean, look at the chemtrails that they put up in the skies. They're being just burnt away. None of them, absolutely none of them are natural clouds anymore. Our atmosphere is being poisoned all the time. It's a red reflection here. Can you see where the chems kick in? And this shape of the simulator all the time. You can see this, can't you? This haze all the time. I mean, look at it. It's disgusting what they're doing, isn't it? Every time they put in this haze so we can't see anything. They block off anything that we wish to see all the time. I mean, look at it. And people are saying that this isn't a real event. Well, let me tell you something. I've never seen these chemicals being put up there for engineering. I mean, come on, there is something else sinister that's going on. And these objects are up there all the time. They're not going to go away. They're huge. They can't just walk away from this. None of us can. We've got to face the music and dance with this one, I tell you. And then the simulator disappears to the right hand side. All the time we're seeing this, aren't we? I'm going to go now, so I just want to say respect to every single one of you, and I hope that everybody has a safe week to come as well, and I will do another video shortly. So have a safe evening from Matt Rogers. And again, this silvery haze on the screen all the time, and this black clouding. They're hiding these objects all the time. We flick through this cam. You can see that this plasma is coming up from the horizon as well, and this redness in the clouding as well. These are chemtrails that are just moving through the sky all the time. Again, you've got these other light objects as well. I mean, these reflections. And again as well, as I've said this before, that we've never had skies like this at all, have we? Now think back in 1985, 1986. Our skies were just natural blue, weren't they? And normal cloudings. We were happy with that. But now, as I said before, they are just covering these objects all the time, aren't they? To disguise the skies all the time. To hide the objects all the time. You've got this, like, it was too hot. It really was too hot. It was reaching up to 26. It was getting very, very hot. As the weather channels would just say, it's 23, but it's not. It's more all the time. And we're only in April, as I said before. And it's just very strange weather, isn't it? Now, when that sun was going down, it was very red. We had blood red horizons as the sun was going down. It was just pure red. Now, there's an object that we all know as being Nibiru is on our horizon now. It's so there now, isn't it? And the weather changed instantly into like a stormy, windy weather. Very eerie, surreal. It was just strange seeing and noticing that the weather pattern had changed abruptly. So what we've got here as well, we've got this orange haze that's always on the horizon now. This is the reflection from that sun and that huge solar object that's in front of the sun. It's Matthew, and the time is now 21:18, and it's now the 9th of the 4th, 2017. And again, here in the Northern Hemisphere today was very, very hot. And on the horizon we saw a very orange object that was behind all that haze, those chems that have been sprayed all through the day on the horizons. They seem to be spraying the horizons now all the time. And we are heading into end times as the weather is getting much more erratic. Again, in the Solomon Islands, more earthquakes, more activity with the sun as well, with those coronal holes and them supermass injections that are heading on towards our natural Earth. We're being pounded every single day. I'm going to try some cams now and see what we can find. So top respect to all of you, and please prepare for the biggest event of our lives. Now these are the FFA webcams in Australia, and also we're getting the ones here in Alaska as well. So we've got the looking at different cams across the world. Now here on this Alaska cam, you can see these red chems, and again you can see this dark sky. Again, it's just evident all the time, and we really need to get this word out, isn't it? It's so important, because these dark skies are happening every single day now as this huge object is heading closer. Now I believe that Nibiru as well doesn't emit any light off it. It's got a slight atmosphere, but you can just see that there's a huge dark shadow coming our way, and this object is heading very close. Here also on this Alaska FFA and also the FAA GovCam. Now you're seeing two light sources, two objects, two colours in the sky there. And they are chemtrailing. And they're doing this all over the world. Now, again, here in the UK, good evening, people.